So now we are going to discuss the properties of anode rays. Okay. Now see here, proton is nothing but the fundamental particle of the atom. Fundamental particle of the atom, proton. So proton is given by what now? 1H1 means what? Hydrogen nucleus. Hydrogen nucleus contains one proton. Hydrogen nucleus contains what? One proton, right? And the same proton we can write like this: H plus ion. H plus ion nothing but H nucleus. Hydrogen nucleus. So hydrogen nucleus or H plus ion. Anyone is called what? Proton. And P also we can write. P indicates for proton. So P, H plus or 1H1. 1H1. Here hydrogen atomic number 1, mass number 1. So it is proton. Okay, symbol of proton. Right. Now see. Proton was discovered by Goldstein. The scientist Goldstein has discovered what? Proton. And the proton is positively charged particle. It is a component particle of anode rays. Anode rays, when we use what now here? When hydrogen gas is used. When hydrogen gas is used in discharge tube. Discharge tube. In discharge tube, if you take hydrogen gas in the discharge tube, the particles, the component particle of the anode rays will be proton. The component particle of anode rays will be proton if we take hydrogen gas in the discharge tube. That point keep in mind. Okay. Next, Goldstein in 1886 used perforated cathode. Perforated means what now here? Holes, with holes. So perforated cathode in the discharge tube and repeated Thomson's experiment. So perforated means what here? With holes. Perforation means what here? With holes. Perforated means what? Cathode with holes. Cathode with holes, small holes. Holes means what now? Pores, P-O-R-E-S, pores. With small pores, the cathode is taken. Cathode plate has what now? Small holes. Holes don't say, but small pores. Okay. Now here, Goldstein has used what now? Cathode, perforated cathode in the discharge tube. And repeated Thomson's experiment and observed the formation of anode rays. These anode rays will be coming from anode plate. From anode plate, what will come? What will arise? The anode rays will be emerging from the anode plate. These rays also termed as what? Positive or canal rays. So anode rays are also called what? Canal rays. Means all the particles will move like canal like this. All the particles are moving like in canal. That's why they are called canal rays, or they have positive particles now. As they have positive particles, they are called positive rays. Positive rays or canal rays or anode rays. Okay. So now here if you take discharge tube, in this what will be there? Suppose it is anode here. What is anode plate? Anode plate. Anode has what now here? Positive charge. And this is cathode. Cathode is what now here? With holes. Cathode is with holes. Cathode plate has what? Small pores on it. This is what now here? Perforated cathode. Perforated cathode means the cathode plate has small holes on it. And here backside here, there will be one photographic plate. What will be taken here? Photographic plate will be taken. What is taken here? Some photographic plate. This photographic plate is used to identify anode rays. Now, when we apply apply 10,000 volts, and very low pressure. So inside this discharge tube, we use what now here? Very high voltage, 10,000 volts, and very low pressure, nearly what? 0.001 mm. Very low pressure will be used, and high voltage will be used here. 0.001 or 0.01. So 10 power minus 2 mm will be used here, low pressure. Under the conditions of low pressure and high voltage, when you pass electricity through this, what happens now? From anode, some rays will be coming. From anode, what will happen? Some rays will come like this, anode rays. These anode rays will pass through the holes. These anode rays will pass through the pores on the cathode, and they will go and hit this photographic plate. When the anode rays hit this photographic plate, we can observe some scintillations. Scintillations are nothing but lightings. When these cathode rays pass through the holes on the cathode and fall on the photographic plate, we can see some scintillations here. By that we can understand that cathode rays are emerged from anode. Anode rays are emerged from anode. Always anode rays will be arising from anode and they will be moving towards what? Cathode. Actually, anode rays move towards cathode, that's all. Anode rays move towards cathode. Cathode is what now? Negative plate. Cathode is what? Negative plate. Actually, anode rays will not arise from anode, remember. Here, suppose one atom is there. In this what? Some atom is there. This atom converts into what now? Positive ion. Atom converts into what now? Positive ion. This atom first converts into positive ion when we pass anode rays. Now, these positive ions, the positive ions will be moving towards what now? Negative cathode. These positive ions produced will be attracted towards what? Negative cathode. So, these positive ions, the flow of positive ions, the flow of this positive ions, nothing but positive rays, means canal rays, otherwise anode rays. Is that clear, ma? In this, when we apply high pressure, at low pressure, high voltage and low pressure, what happens now? The atoms in the gas taken in the discharge tube will be changed into ions, positive ions. Now these positive ions will be attracted towards what? These positive ions will be attracted towards what? Negative cathode. That's why the flow of the positive ions towards cathode are nothing but anode rays here, canal rays or anode rays we say. Is that clear? So this positive ion will be what now here? H plus. If you take which gas? Hydrogen gas. If you take hydrogen gas, what will be? The H plus ions, the positive ions will be H plus ions. This H plus ion is nothing but now proton. The H plus ion is nothing but proton. So the protons will be the constituent particles in the discharge tube when we take hydrogen gas. When we take hydrogen gas in the discharge tube, the anode rays will consist of positive ions called H plus ions. These H plus ions are nothing but protons. H plus ion is nothing but proton. So protons will be the particles of anode rays if you take hydrogen gas in discharge tube. Suppose if you take helium, the helium plus ion will be there. If you take helium gas, helium plus or helium plus 2 will be there. Helium plus 2 will be present as ion, as positive ion. If you take which gas? Helium gas. When we take helium gas in the discharge tube, the anode rays contain what? He plus 2. This He plus 2 is called what now? Alpha particle. He plus 2 means what? Helium nucleus. Helium nucleus is nothing but alpha particle. Helium plus 2 ion is nothing but helium nucleus. This helium nucleus is taken as what? Alpha particle. And H plus is nothing but hydrogen nucleus. The hydrogen nucleus is taken as what? Proton. Hydrogen nucleus or H plus ion is proton, and helium nucleus or He plus 2 ion is alpha particle. Like this, the protons will be the constituent particles in the anode rays when we take hydrogen gas in the discharge tube. That point we have to understand. Okay. Now see properties of anode rays. First point you see. Anode rays travel in straight line. Cathode rays also travel in straight line. Anode rays and cathode rays both travel in straight line. Second point you see. Anode rays are material particles. Material particles meaning what? They have some mass. The particles of anode rays have some mass. Okay. There will be the particles with certain mass in the anode rays. So the anode rays are called material particles. But cathode rays contain what? Electrons. Cathode rays contain electron. But electron is what now? Having -1 charge and 0 mass. Na? 0 mass indicates what? Massless particle. Negligible mass for electrons. That's why material particles we cannot say. Electrons are not material particles. If we take proton now, proton will be having what now? 1 AMU mass. Na? Proton has 1 AMU mass. 1 AMU mass means it has some mass. That's why it is called material particle. Proton is material particle, but electron is non-material particle. We can take negligible mass for the electron. Remember. That's why anode rays are called what now here? Material. Anode rays contain what? Material particles. Next, anode rays are positively charged. The particles of anode rays contain what? Positive charge, because the positive ions are produced here. When atoms lose electrons, the atoms convert into what ions now? The atom loses electrons and becomes positive ion. These positive ions are present in what? Anode rays. So the anode rays contain what? Anode rays contain the particles with the positive charge. Take the screenshot of this one. Next. Yeah, next, another important property. Now, what are these here? Properties of anode rays. Properties of anode rays. Anode rays may get deflected. Anode rays may get deflected by external magnetic field. Anode rays may be deflected by what? External magnetic field. If you take North Pole and the South Pole, if you take North Pole and South Pole here, it is South Pole, suppose it is North Pole. Now here, when you pass anode rays here, which rays here? Anode rays. These anode rays will be deflected. They will be deflected in this magnetic field. So anode rays may get deflected by external magnetic field. Next, anode rays also affect the photographic plate. That means what? When anode rays fall on this photographic plate, we get some scintillation, some lighting we can see here. Whenever anode rays fall on photographic plate, we can see what? Some scintillations here. So we say that anode rays also affect, like cathode rays, anode rays also affect the photographic plate. Next, the charge by mass ratio. E by m ratio is nothing but charge of the particle divided by mass of the particle. The E by m ratio, that is charge to mass ratio of these rays. These means what? Anode rays. Charge to mass ratio of anode rays is smaller than what? That of electrons. Electrons means what? No, cathode rays. In cathode rays, what will be there? In cathode rays, what will be present? Electrons will be present. So the electron charge by mass ratio, the charge by mass ratio of anode rays will be smaller than the E by m ratio of cathode rays. E by m ratio of anode rays will be smaller than what? The E by m ratio of cathode rays. That is the meaning here. Why cathode rays, why anode rays have smaller here? Because mass, here charge by mass, na? Charge by mass. Charge by mass ratio. If mass is greater, this ratio value will be lesser, na? Charge by mass ratio will be lesser if the mass is greater. So here anode ray particles have more mass than cathode ray particles. That's why when mass is greater, this ratio, this value becomes lesser. That's why the E by m ratio of the anode rays will be smaller than that of electrons, that of cathode rays. That is the meaning here. Next, unlike cathode rays, their E by m value, there means what now here? Anode rays. So unlike cathode rays, anode rays E by m value is dependent upon the nature of the gas, taken in the discharge tube, and also the material of what now? Cathode, material of anode, like this. So unlike cathode rays, the E by m value of anode rays dependent upon the nature of the gas. Whatever the gas is taken, that gas will decide the nature of E by m value. The E by m value of anode rays will be depending on what now? The nature of the gas taken. Whether we have taken hydrogen gas in the discharge tube or helium gas, or which gas we have taken, that will decide the E by m value of anode rays. Okay, this E by m ratio is maximum when the gas present in the tube is hydrogen. Now hydrogen, what now here? Mass, hydrogen mass is how much? 1 am, you know. Okay, less atomic mass. When atomic mass is less, the E by m ratio, mass when is less, this E by m ratio will be greater, na? That's why it is maximum when gas is present is what? Hydrogen. When gas taken in the discharge tube is hydrogen, the E by m value of anode rays will be maximum. Okay. So E by M value of anode rays will not be constant for all gases. For all gases, the E by M ratio of the anode rays will not be same. If you take hydrogen gas in the discharge tube, the E by M ratio will be maximum because the hydrogen has got less mass. When mass is less, automatically the E by M ratio will be greater. That point we have to understand. Take the screenshot now once. Next, another point is that these rays, these means what now? Anode rays produce flashes of light on ZNS screen. ZNS screen is nothing but photographic plate. Photographic plate. The photographic plate is generally made up of zinc sulfide. On this zinc sulfide plate, if anode rays fall, they will produce what? Flashes of light. Flashes of light means what? Scintillations. What is this? Scintillations. So scintillations or flashes of light, we say. Scintillations or flashes of light. Okay. So anode rays produce the flashes of light on zinc sulfide screen. Okay. That is about what now? Anode rays. Okay. Next. Now another important fundamental particle is what now? Neutron. Neutron is indicated by 0 N1. Means what now here? A neutron has zero charge. Zero charge. The charge is 0 here. And mass is what? 1 AMU. Mass is what? 1 AMU. For neutron, what is the mass? 1 AMU. What is charge? 0. That's why we write what? N, small n, 0, 1. Charge 0, 1 unit mass. The same thing we can also write like capital N. Capital N indicates for neutron. Okay. Now see here. Neutron was discovered by James Chadwick in 1932. In 1932, James Chadwick has discovered what? Neutron. Okay, according to the following nuclear reaction. Nuclear reaction means what? The reactions take place in nucleus. Occur in nucleus. In the nucleus of atom, if the reaction occurs, that is called what? Nuclear reaction. Otherwise, occurs by involvement of what? Nuclei. The nuclei involved here. In nuclear reactions, what involves here? Nuclear reaction involves what? Nuclei. Nucleus singular, nuclei plural. Is that clear, ma? So, in nuclear reactions, one of the nuclear reactions, what now here it is. Now, beryllium nucleus, or we say beryllium nuclide. What we say? Beryllium nuclide. So, beryllium nuclide, when is bombarded with alpha particle. This helium-24 is what now? Alpha particle. When alpha particle bombards what? Beryllium nucleus. What happens now? The beryllium converts into carbon. The beryllium converts into carbon, and one neutron is released here. What is this here? One neutron is emitted. One neutron particle is emitted when the alpha particle bombards what? Beryllium nucleus. Beryllium atomic number 4, mass number 9. So Be49. And helium-24. Helium nucleus is nothing but alpha particle. So alpha particle is nothing but helium nucleus. So helium nucleus is called what, ma? Alpha particle. So how to represent alpha particle? Helium-24. When this alpha particle hits what? This beryllium nucleus, the beryllium changes into carbon and one neutron is emitted. This is called what now here? Radioactive transformation, transmutation. One type of nucleus will change into the other type of nucleus. Okay. So this is about what now here? The nuclear reaction. In this nuclear reaction, which particle is obtained here? Neutron is obtained. Neutron is produced by this method. And another reaction, what now? Other reaction is what? Boron. What is taken here? Boron. So this boron has atomic number 5, mass number 11. So B511 is bombarded with what again? Alpha particle. Again, this also what? Alpha particle. Again, alpha particle. So this alpha particle is hitting what? The boron nucleus here. Then boron nucleus will change into what? Nitrogen nucleus. Again, neutron is produced here. Again, neutron is produced. So like that, neutron is produced by any one of these nuclear reactions. Here, one type of nucleus is changing into the other type of nucleus. That's why it is called what? Nuclear reaction. Nuclear reaction. Let's take the screenshot of this one. Okay. Now listen carefully. Now in these reactions here, this is what now here target nucleus. Target nuclide we say. And this is alpha particle I said, no? This is which particle? Alpha particle. This alpha particle acts as a projectile. What is my projectile? So this projectile particle will bombard with the target nucleus. Then this target nucleus will change into some product nuclide. This is what now here? Product nuclide. Product nuclide is produced here. After this, along with the product nuclide, whatever is emitted is called what? This emitted particle is called ejectile. What is called? Ejectile particle. Ejectile particle. This ejectile particle, projectile particle. This ejectile particle is nothing but here, neutron. In this case, neutron is ejectile. Neutron is ejectile. EJ. Okay. Like this, what now here, neutron is produced here. Neutron is produced in this nuclear reaction. Here, same thing. It is what now target nucleus. It is projectile alpha particle. Okay, projectile alpha particle, and it is what now product nucleus, and it is ejectile. Ejectile is what now here? Neutron. So neutron is what now here? Ejectile. Neutron is ejectile particle, which is emitted is called ejectile. Whichever is bombarding the given nucleus is called projectile. It is what now here? Projectile particle. Projectile particle, ejectile particle. Is the concept clear? Let's take the screenshot of this once again. Now next one. So neutron is an unstable particle. Which is unstable particle? Neutron is unstable particle. Okay. It decays. Decays means what? Decomposes, disintegrates. Neutron is what now here? Unstable particle and disintegrates. Disintegrates means what now here? Breaks down. It breaks down. So it decays as what now follows. The neutron particle. The neutron is given by what? N 0, 1. Neutron particle is divided into proton and electron and one anti-neutrino. What is called? Anti-neutrino. Anti-neutrino. So anti-neutrino is produced along with proton and electron. Proton and electron. Now tell me here, sum of these all 1, -1, 0. Now sum of all these values what now here? Sum equals what? 1 plus here -1, -1 plus here 0. It is what now? 1 minus 1, 0. That's why here what we got? 0 is there for neutron. The overall atomic number is what? 0 here. So 1 minus 1, 0. So it is 0. Now you take these all, sum of all these values here. Sum of all these values. Tell me 1 here. 1 plus 0 plus 0. 1 plus 0 plus 0. It is equal to 1. That's why the overall mass of neutron, how much here? 1. The overall charge of neutron, how much? 0. So like this here, the neutron particle, each neutron in the nucleus. Each neutron in the nucleus, breaks down, decays into what? Proton, electron, and one anti-neutrino particle. This anti-neutrino is what now here? Massless and chargeless particle. massless particle and chargeless particle. No mass, no charge. For this anti-neutrino, no mass and no charge. Is that clear, ma? So like this what now here, this is one of the disintegration, decay of what neutron. The neutron in the nucleus will break down into proton and electron. Whenever neutron in the nucleus is broken down, dissociated, what will be produced? One proton particle and one electron particle along with anti-neutrino. This point we have to understand. Okay. Take the screenshot of this one. Now next one. Atomic number or nuclear charge. The number of protons present in the nucleus of the atom is called what now? Atomic number. Number of protons is called what? Atomic number given by Z. It was determined by Moseley. It means what now? Z. Z means what? Atomic number. Atomic number was determined by Moseley as what? The square root of frequency, nu. What is here? Nu. So this nu indicates what here? Frequency. Nu indicates what? Frequency of X-rays. Frequency of X-rays. So square root of nu is equal to A of Z minus B. A of Z minus B. A into Z, AZ minus AB. AZ minus AB. That is what here nu bar. Square root of nu bar is equal to what now here? A of Z minus B. We have taken. That means what? AZ minus AB. Is that clear, ma? So Z is what now here? Atomic number. Z is atomic number. Nu is what? Frequency of X-rays used. And Z is atomic number of the metal used. And A and B are what? Constants. A and B are what? Constants. A value, B value, both are what? Constants. Z is atomic number. Nu is what? Frequency of this X-rays. And here, what we have taken the plot of what now? Nu versus Z. Okay. What we have taken? Nu versus Z here. So on this y-axis, what we have taken? Nu. In what now? Second inverse. Second inverse here. This is what now here? Square root of nu we have taken. So square root of nu in second inverse we have taken. Okay. And versus Z. So nu, square root of nu versus Z. This will be the plot. The plot of what? Nu bar, sorry, square root of nu versus Z. Okay, this is what now here? Square root of nu versus Z. We'll get like this. For different atomic numbers, we take this plot here. Okay? When atomic number is increasing, on the x-axis, what is happening? This nu value also increasing. When atomic number is increasing and nu value also increases. That means what? Nu and atomic number both are directly proportional to each other. Okay, nu is what? Frequency of the X-rays and Z is what? Atomic number of the metal used. Is that clear? So how these X-rays are produced here? Generally, when you take now here one heavy metal, it is what now here? One heavy metal with atomic number Z. Atomic number of this metal is what? Z, suppose. Now here on this what are falling here? Cathode rays are falling, suppose. Which rays? Cathode rays. When cathode rays fall on this metal with atomic number Z, what happens now? X-rays are produced here. What are produced here? X-rays are produced. X-rays will be produced when cathode rays bombard the metal surface, the metal with atomic number. Now these X-rays have what? Some frequency now, nu. The X-rays have frequency nu here. This nu of X-rays and atomic number of the metal used. Atomic number of the metal used and this nu of the X-rays produced will be related by this graph here. So square root of nu is directly proportional to what? Z value. This is a plot of this one. Is that clear? Let's take the screenshot of this. Now see next. Atomic number generally equals to what? Number of positive charges on the nucleus. The number of positive charges on the nucleus is called atomic number. Means number of protons on meaning. That is number of protons in the nucleus. That is also number of electrons in neutral atom only. In the neutral atom, number of electrons will be equal to atomic number. Atomic number equals to what? Number of electrons in the neutral atom, number of protons in the nucleus, or the number of positive charges on nucleus will be atomic number. And two different elements can never have identical atomic numbers. Two different elements cannot have same atomic number. Identical means same. Identical meaning what? Same. So two different elements can never have same atomic number. And what is mass number? Mass number is given by A. Mass number is equal to what? Number of protons or atomic number. Number of protons, nothing but atomic number only, no? So atomic number plus number of neutrons. Number of neutrons. Otherwise, number of neutrons equals to what now? A minus Z. A minus Z. Okay. So atomic number A is equal to what now? Number of protons plus number of neutrons. Number of protons plus number of neutrons. Number of protons plus number of neutrons equals to what? Atomic number. So Z indicates what now? Number of protons. Number of protons plus number of neutrons equals to mass number. That is given by A. Is that clear? Again, number of neutrons, how to find out? Mass number is equal to number of protons, nothing but Z. Plus number of neutrons, formula what? A minus Z. A minus Z. Okay. So like that, A is equal what now here? Z plus N we take here. Z plus N. Okay. So just remember this one here. A is equal to protons number plus neutrons number. Take the screenshot of this one. Yeah. So remaining areas we'll discuss in the next period. Okay. Bye. Good day.